All right, so this is just my test. All right, I think we're live. So, hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dream Interpretation, where I interpret your guys' dreams every single week. And so, in today's episode, I'm actually doing a live, and this is actually my first time doing a live. And the reason for that is actually because last week I actually got 4 dreams from 4 different people. And so, what I learned was is that I take about like 10 minutes for each dream. And so since I had 4 dreams, that was like roughly about like 50 to an hour, right, of editing. And so I was like, you know what, I have to come up with a better system, because in the future when I get a lot of dreams, like for example, what if I get 10 dreams, I won't have enough time to be able to edit all of that. And especially because I actually recorded on a Tuesday, and then I always post on Thursdays, and so I just worked for 2 days straight on that last week's video. And so and so that's what I wanted to mention, right? This is actually my first live that I'm doing. And so so let's get started. Right, in this episode I'm actually going to be interpreting Alexander's dream that actually he sent me. And really awesome dreams. And I'd just like to mention that right before we get started, that the names I use in these videos aren't the real person's names. And the reason I do that is actually to protect the person's identity, since dreams can be extremely personal. And so let's get started with the video. And so I'm actually going to bring up the email right here. All right, so number one is, I have been dreaming many times that the names of the places which I've never known before. But when I look at the maps, I see them exactly at that place, and they're mostly the exact same name. I will name them. So forgive me. I don't know. I don't speak these languages, and so I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these names. But yeah, so Dobrochev, Ratavich, Rasem, Begraf. Anyways, there's a lot of names, and there are many, but I don't remember. But it is cool to know, because the dreams that I had are so accurate that it shows the exact place where the villages are in the maps. And so when Alexander sent me this first dream, I actually told him, I sent him the list of what to include, because you have to be very specific, right? And so sure enough, he sent me another email describing those dreams that he's had of all these places that are real, and that he's actually dreamt of, but he's never been to these places before. And so I'm actually going to read the second email that he provided. And so so number one, Dobrochev, the country is Kosovo. So I saw myself just standing there, and I saw the whole village at the high distance above. And I saw that the village was near Kosovo Poljev, which is a city. And I never knew the village, or I never knew that it would be near Kosovo Poljev. But when I woke up, I saw the place in maps, and this is a real place. And at the exact place, it's the exact same place and the exact name. And so, so what the Holy Spirit is actually showing me for your first, right, the first part of your first dream, is that obviously, Holy Spirit has actually called you to go to this area, right, to this place in Kosovo. And Holy Spirit is actually going to be calling you. This is what this is what you're called to do. And so God is showing me that this is the area that you're called to go to minister. And so obviously this is the future, but this is where your calling is, right? It's in this region. And later on you mentioned Kosovo a lot: Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, another Macedonia, another Kosovo. And so I actually searched these places up on Google Maps, and sure enough, it's all the same regions. Let me check real quick. So it's all in the same region: Kosovo, Albania, and I think north of Macedonia, which is right above Greece. And so this is actually the region, like I was saying, right? This is the region that Holy Spirit has called you to go and minister to. And so that's awesome, right? And especially when you mentioned, right, in the email, that all these places are exactly the same, that they're exactly the place, even though you've never been to these places. Holy Spirit is showing you a detailed, right? He's showing you these places like live, basically. And sure enough, when you wake up, you go and check the maps, and it's the exact same place, right? Those places that you were in your dreams actually exist. And so that's awesome, right? That's awesome that Holy Spirit is showing you a detailed, right, glimpse of what your ministry is supposed to be, right? Where you're supposed to do your work, right? And so for an example for that, right, is that, there's a lot of different people, right? Everybody that's on the earth has a purpose. And so, right, everybody is called to go to certain places, right? And so, for example, right, if I take like the example of Reinhard Bonnke, Daniel Kalenda, right? Huge men of God, right? And they're actually been called to go to Africa, for example, right? And so, yeah, for these dreams to be so specific, and God is showing you that, no, you have to go to these regions. So, in the region of Macedonia, right, Albania, and Kosovo, right? That's awesome. That's a really awesome dream. And so, yeah, we're going to continue, right? Because there's a lot more. And so, yeah, so then the second place is Rastavice, Kosovo. So I was driving with the car with my family, and I saw a sign which said straight away Ratavica Dekani. But the dream was kind of weird because when we went to Dekani, we went to play a game called Rastavice or Rastavice and Dekan. I was in a Rastavice group, and the game was to kill Dekanis. It was like CS:GO, so I never knew that the village existed or that it is the exact place where I saw in the dream, but it's straight away to Dekani. So in reality, there is a straight path to Dekani if you look at the Google Maps. All right, so in this part, Holy Spirit is actually showing you. So you said that you were in the dream, you were playing a game called CS:GO. So I don't know much about that game, but I'm pretty sure it's about like a war game. And so what Holy Spirit is showing me about that part of the dream is that, in this region in Kosovo, right, with the Rastavice and the Dekani, right, what Holy Spirit is showing you is that, in the future, there is going to be conflict in this region, right, that you're seeing. And so, yeah, and also you're going to be there in when there's this huge conflict, this war or whatnot, right? That's going to be happening in this region. And so you're going to be present in that location. And so that's what Holy Spirit is showing you in that part. All right, so the next part is Rasem, Albania. So I just saw myself at a high distance, me driving a car in Rasem, and I saw myself driving the car in the Albanian Alps, which in reality, that is a real place. And when I looked at the maps at the exact place, it was at the same place. Yeah. And so, just like with the other dreams, yeah, Holy Spirit is just giving you detailed, place. Yeah. He's giving you a detailed look at to what you're going to be, where you're going to go in the future. Right. And so, and yeah, and the other thing that Holy Spirit is actually showing me is that, in the dream, since you're going to all these different parts in this whole region, that's how it's going to be. So God's going to call you to go to this place, go to this country, right? Kosovo, go to Albania, go to Macedonia, right? You mentioned later. And so, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to be doing, right? You're going to be going to different areas. You're going to be ministering to these small villages that you're seeing, right, in your dream. And you're going to be, showing these people, you're going to be showing them, right, the good news, essentially. And so then after it continues, you were in Begras, Kosovo. And I know this village before I got the dream. I have been there, but I saw in the dream that there will be a family problem in Begras. 3 people were at the court, and somebody accused them for killing. All right, so Holy Spirit is actually showing me that, yeah, in this part of the dream, right, Holy Spirit is showing you that you're also going to be helping other people that are wrongly accused or that are in problems, right? And so obviously, right, you showed up at this court, and these people were getting accused for killings, right? And so you're going to be present in all of these areas, like I was mentioning, but for this part, yeah, you're going to be there, right? And so Holy Spirit is just showing me that you are going to be assisting people that are in need. So the next part is Shipkovika, Macedonia. So in this dream, I didn't see the village geographically, but I saw this. I saw a poor boy who had little clothes, and I gave my clothes to him. He thanked me, and I saw, "Where are you?" And I said, sorry, it's written a little weird, but yeah. And I said, I think that's what, yeah. And I said, "Where are you from?" Then he said, "I am from Shipkovika." And the dream gets more accurate, is that the boy looks similar to one of the boys who I listened to a music video. And this boy that was in the music video is actually from Macedonia, possibly in Tetovo or in Gostivar, the Albanian majority, the cities. And when I woke up, I looked at the maps and I saw Shipkovika, and it is near Tetovo. And so, yeah, and so just like with the previous example of you helping into the previous dream, of you helping somebody that's, being accused in a court, right, and you assisting people in this part in Kosovo, you're also going to be helping people that are very poor. And so the fact that you were in Macedonia and there was a poor boy, right, there's that, and you gave him his clothes. So Holy Spirit is actually going to be, like I said before, he's going to be bringing you to all of this region, right, of Macedonia, Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, and he's actually going to be, using you to help a lot of people that need help, right? Especially like you said, this boy needed clothes, and the fact that you also said that this boy looks similar to a boy that you listen to, right? A musician that you listen to in a music video. Yeah, that just shows that's the region, right? That's the area that it's going to be, because you said that boy is from Macedonia. And so, yeah, really awesome, right? That Holy Spirit is showing you such in detail, and the reason for that is because, like I said, this is where you're called to minister to. And so then later it says, Lipkovo, Macedonia. I saw a dream. I saw at a high distance above, and I saw the mountains of Karadak, and near at the right side, and I saw the village of Lipkovo. I went to Lipkovo, and I saw an elderly man pointing between two hills. In the other side of the hill, there was three hills. And when I woke up, I saw at the maps, and there is a village near the mountains of Karadak, and at the right side with the name Lipkovo. Yeah, and so that part again is just showing you, right, another place that you're going to go. Then, give me a second. I just want to make sure I'm still live and that there's no problems. Yeah, awesome. Okay, we're still here. Yeah, and so let me just bring up the email again. Okay, excellent. All right, yeah, right here. All right, so yeah, so that yeah, that was in Lipkovo, Macedonia. So just like with the rest, that's just another place where you're going to be going, right? And so then after you said there's another place called Kriva Palanka, which is in Macedonia, and in the dream we went with my whole family to Kriva Palanka to relax and to chill. We went to a beach, and in the beach there was a church in the middle of the sea. I went there and I saw a water fountain, which was the church. And when I took the water in my bottle to fill it, the water was burning and reddish when I drank it. I became euphoric. And when I woke up, I looked at the maps for the place, but in the place it didn't have a beach or a lake. Yeah, and so this part isn't really showing you. This is more of a dream, right? It's not really showing you exactly what's going to happen. No, the fact that there was water in the church and is surrounded, right? That's actually where you're going to be learning. Right. And so you're going to be going to this church, right, in the future when you're doing that ministry in the whole region, right, in that region that God has called you to go to. You're going to be going to this church and you're going to be learning a lot. So that's why you picked up your water bottle, right, just like it says in the word, right, with flowing waters, right. Yeah, so you're going to be learning a lot, right? That representation of water is just all of the knowledge and you growing your relationship with God. And the water was burning and reddish when I drank it, and I became euphoric. Yeah, and so the Holy Spirit right there is just showing me, yeah, that's just symbolically, right? It's symbolic for you learning, right? You're going to be going at another level with God when this happens, right, in the future. And then that's why you said, right, when I woke up, I looked at the maps for the place, but in the place, I didn't have a beach or a lake. And that's, like I said, right, the representation of all the waters around that church is where you're going to be learning, right? You're going to be increasing and going to a next step with what God has called you to do, right? You're going to be learning a lot at that church. And so then the dream continues, right? And it says that you were in Draganac, Kosovo. I saw myself driving in a car in Draganac, and it was a beautiful village with roses. And that's the end of that part, right? So that, again, you're just showing, God is just showing you other places that you're going to be another village, right? That you're going to be going there in the near future, right? Or in the future. And yeah, and again, right, you mentioned also it's a village. And so, yeah. So then after the dream continues, and it says you go to Belo Polje in Kosovo, and this, in my opinion, is evident that what God tried to tell me. I saw at the high distance above, and I saw a city, Peja. And near Peja, I saw a village called Belo Polje. Sorry for the pronunciation. Like I said, I don't know all these languages and these different regions. And God told me that there will come a revival. Christ will build a church there. And I don't remember, but maybe there was another village, which is in Karabreg, which will have a revival too. And so then you finish off by saying, but it is strange that in my dreams I see the names of these places which are accurate and sometimes geographically accurate. Yeah, no, I mean, like most of these you're getting, on point, especially when you looked at the Google Maps. The only one that wasn't right was the one about the church and the water, like we just explained. But that was a representation of the knowledge that Holy Spirit, the next level that you're going to, and the next level of your relationship with God that you're going to be in, right? And so. But this part, right, you just mentioned when you were in Kosovo, and you said it was very clear to you, what God was trying to show you when you were there. There's going to be revival. And so Holy Spirit is also just showing you that you're going to be, this is where you're called to minister to, right? And it's very clear with all these dreams. That is what Holy Spirit is showing you. This is your calling. You have to go to these places and you have to minister to all of these places, right? And the fact that there's going to be huge revivals, there's going to be a revival, and you said in these two villages, right, of Belapoje and Karabreg, right? And so that's awesome, right? And so Holy Spirit is just showing you, that you're going to be a part of all of this, right? And so, like I said, right, that's really amazing that Holy Spirit has just showed you in such a clear manner and such an accurate, right, manner that, he's showing you the places that you're going to be going to in the future. And so, yeah, this is really awesome dream, right? And not only that, but he's also showing you that you're going to be helping people, right? You're going to be helping poor people that don't have enough clothes, right? You're going to be helping, I think, oh, let me see, I wrote it, I highlighted it. Yeah, the poor boy who didn't have clothes. And you're also beginning, there's going to be a lot of conflict, right? Like you said in the second part of the dream, when you're in Rastavika, in Dekani, right? You said that there's going to be a lot of conflict. And so God, you have a huge calling in your life, right? Holy Spirit is going to be calling you to do a lot of things, right? And so, yeah, this is a really awesome dream. I'm so glad that, you sent me your dreams so that I can interpret them. Thank you so much. And really, really amazing. And so, so that's everything I have to say for that first part of the dream. So let's actually go back to the second dream that you sent me. And so the second dream starts off, I saw a dream about one girl that I love, but we are not married or dating. In the dream, I saw that she is part of my family, like a cousin, but in reality, she isn't. But in the dream, she was my cousin, and we went to visit our cousins. But it was that girl that I loved, and I actually planned to marry her. I'm planning it in real life. But in the dream, I got a little bit upset because I can't marry her because I found out she is my cousin. So I felt self-disappointment. By the way, before I got this dream, maybe a day ago, I saw her in the mall and we looked at each other romantically. And so, and the dream finishes off by saying, "Thank you for interpreting my dreams. I will share more dreams in the future, and may God bless you, brother." Yeah, so thank you so much, Alexander, for sending me your dreams. Yeah, and I look forward to what Holy Spirit is called you to do, right? And more dreams that Holy Spirit is going to give you. And so, yeah, feel free to send me more dreams. And so, yeah, going back to what I was saying, right, with the second dream. So this dream is about this girl that you plan to marry, right? So what Holy Spirit is showing me with this dream is that obviously, the fact that she was your cousin, it actually signifies that she's very similar to you, right? And also the fact that she was your cousin is that, it's more of a friend, right? Because, like you said, right, you wanted to marry her in real life, but in the dream you couldn't because she was your cousin. So that just had two symbols, right? And so the first one is that your cousin is actually, like I said, right, it's very much like a sister, right? It's very much like that, right? It's more like a friend. And the other thing is that the fact that it's your cousin in the dream symbolizes that this person is very similar to you, right? And so that's why in the dream, Holy Spirit is clearly showing you, right, that this girl, and you actually got very upset, right? You said that you got very upset because this is what you plan to do. You plan on, marrying this girl. But what Holy Spirit is actually showing you through this dream is that this girl isn't the one that God has called to be your wife, right? And so, it's a very serious dream because obviously it does affect your decision, right? But Holy Spirit is just showing you that this girl that you think, right, she's just a friend, right? But the thing is that she's way too much like you. And so, and also that this isn't the girl that Holy Spirit has called to be your wife. And so, that's the interpretation. Thank you so much, Alexander, for sending me your dreams. And and also I forgot to mention, for everyone else that's watching, if you guys would like to send me your dreams, make sure to send it to me on my email, which is dreaminterpretation2020@gmail.com. I'll also have all the information down below in the description. And also make sure to check that description because I actually have a checklist of what to include in your dream, and the email will also be in the description. And so, thank you so much, Alexander, for sending me your dreams. That's the end of the interpretation, right, of the second dream. And also, like I said about the first dream before. And so, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And lastly, I'd just like to mention, right, yeah, if you guys could make sure to leave a like and subscribe so that my channel um, has a better chance of being out there, right, for people that want to have their interpretations, right? And so thank you so much, everybody, and God bless.